guys, my name is Jennifer and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be teaching you how to wax your own body hair at home. So I've been thinking about making this video for a while, and every time I waxed it just didn't seem like a great time to be filming, and for some reason I was inspired today, so it's happening today. I just went to the gym, hence why I just have a sports bra on. And I look a little bit sweaty and disgusting, but we're gonna get to it. So I'm probably going to try to timestamp this video somewhere on the screen or in the description box here if this ends up dragging a little bit longer than I want it to. But I know like the first part I'm going to talk about like the tools, the equipment, everything. If you have gotten waxed at somewhere like the European Wax Center where they use a blue like hard wax, you kind of already know the process. If you have not gotten professionally waxed before using a wax like that, I would recommend doing that first before you attempt to do any waxing yourself. First, I want to talk about the items that you need or items that you use. I personally purchase everything from Amazon because I don't actually know where to find this stuff. I can just link it down below of things that I purchased. You don't have to buy these exact things, but this is just what I have. First, let's talk about the wax warmer. I have the Gigi wax warmer. Did I say wax warmer? This is the wax warmer, and it's really lightweight. It's kind of like this. It plugs in, but it just has this metal circle container thing that you can put your container of wax beads in. This one kind of just has off and then low, medium, and high. The red tells you, I don't actually remember the red being on. The green actually tells you when it has reached the temperature. So when you get to low, medium, or high, if the green is on, it means it's gotten to that temperature. I don't actually know what temperatures are low, medium, and high, so you might have to play with it as you go. For me, it kind of just depends on how much wax is in the bowl, but yeah, this is what I use to warm my wax. And then to get started, you need your own container. So this one fits perfectly into this little bowl right here, if I don't drop it. So just like that. And this is it's French, I assume. So I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it. Serapil? This is their blue hard wax, and this is their 400 gram container or 14.11 ounces. You just buy one of these because you can actually buy the wax separately, and this will come with product. I've used this quite a bit, and so currently it's just one big flat thing at the bottom. You can buy the replacement wax, so I buy them in bigger containers like this. This is the same brand, this is the same items, and as you can see, the wax beads are pretty small pellets, and they come in this container, and you just pour it into the container when you don't have enough in this that you desire. So that's kind of the basics, and then what you will need also on top of that are popsicle sticks. I use the small ones. This is 1,000 pieces. I personally use these little ones because I like them for my face. If you're going to be doing your legs or maybe your bikini area or even your underarms, I would suggest getting the fatter ones. Those tend to pick up more product, and you don't have to go over the area, as many times as with the little ones. That's all you need. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift the lid off of this container. You obviously don't want that plastic lid on there. You stick this right into the little cavity container thing in the warmer, and I personally like to slide it all the way up to hot. But it takes quite a while for this to sort of melt. So as I'm waiting for this, I'm just going to give you some background on waxing, some tips and tricks, whatever, and then when that's warm, we'll jump into the step-by-step. So a couple tips and tricks I have for you. It's actually easier to wax if your hair is a little bit coarser. I personally have not actually shaved my underarms in probably over a year because waxing is just so easy for me, and it's actually really cheap if you just buy everything and do it yourself. And then I would recommend not showering right before you wax, just because after the shower your skin is very soft. Also, the temperature of the wax does matter. Obviously, the hotter it is, the more runny it gets. When you go get your eyebrows waxed, especially your eyebrows, this is like particularly eyebrows, but when you go get your eyebrows waxed at the salon, they have you lay down, and that's because then when they spread it, it doesn't like go where you don't want it to because of gravity. So if you're going to do your eyebrows at home, make sure that the wax is not so hot so it doesn't like drip everywhere. And as far as hair length, I would say, I guess I can like zoom you in with my face. It doesn't have any makeup on, so I don't know if you can tell, but my like upper lip hair, I might have either waxed or shaved it recently, so it's not really there. Looks like I need to take care of some blackheads. But my eyebrows could use a little bit of work, especially like here in the middle and like over here, so I will be doing a little bit on my eyebrows. I personally I'm not very comfortable with doing like the hair on top of my eyebrows. I prefer to just shave that bit because with the way the wax might drip, it's just, I don't know, I just can't I'm scared to do that. So you definitely want your hair to be pretty long, almost like a grain of rice. A grain of rice is kind of the length that they recommend. I have tried to wax my own bikini line. For one, there are places that you can't get to yourself. Even if you lay down, you just can't. And two, it hurts, and it is definitely an area of the skin where like for my underarms, like the wax can be so hot and I just don't care, but like for my face and my bikini line, if the wax goes above like a certain temperature, it's just like, it hurts to rip out the hair, it hurts applying it. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll be brave enough to like do a full Brazilian, but that day ain't today. So now that this is warming up, you'll start to notice that there is a ring of wax around this whole like container that is ready to use, like it's already in liquid form. And yeah, you just want to make sure to remove all your jewelry before you get started. And yeah, I'm gonna do my eyebrows first because the wax is not very hot. So I will zoom you guys in. And excuse the little pimples on my eyebrow. One of my eye creams was giving me like really bad acne. But here we go. I'm going to be doing like some of these little hairs down here and some of this stuff right here. You'll never be able to get all of it just because like you don't want to go too close to your actual like the eyebrows you want to keep. At least I'm too scared to, so totally up to you. So you just want to make sure that you keep everything very sanitary. So with the sticks, do not double dip into the wax, and just try to keep your wax pot clean in general. But I'm going to pick up a little bit of wax on the tip of this and go in carefully. So what you want to do is you actually want to shield your eye so that it doesn't drip onto your eyelashes. That would be like the worst thing ever. I might have to flip the stick over. Don't feel pressure to get like all of it at one time. Sometimes you might not pick up enough product, and with your eyebrows, it's definitely best to do little parts of it at one time instead of the whole thing, because the more product you pick up, the more it's likely to drip and go somewhere you don't want it to. So as this is cooling down, I also just want to mention that if you drop wax anywhere, like I drip on my bathroom floor sometimes, wait for it to cool before you try to remove it, because the worst thing you can do is when it's like still warm, you're like smearing it on your floor. This is like not letting my eye open here. But you want to rip against the way your hair is growing, so I will be ripping it this way. You just want to hold your skin taut while you rip it off. You just pick up a corner and you want to do it quickly. So it did get most of my hair, which is actually only a couple strands. You probably can't see that very well on this strip, but it did get some of it. You will have to go in and pluck anyway after this. There we go. So I personally don't really like waxing my eyebrows. I'm really just doing this to show you guys that it can be done, but you're really just getting the stuff that's a little bit lower. You want to pluck very close to your actual eyebrow because you just don't want to risk kind of ruining that. But I'm actually going to take some more wax and just do this middle section, and it's dripping on my nose. I wouldn't worry about it dripping on your nose. So I'm just doing this whole middle section, dragging it up. And like I said, it won't be perfect. The point isn't for it to be perfect. If you want it to be perfect, you still need to be plucking or threading. And when you think it's ready for in between my eyebrows, I like to rip down. So, again, holding your skin taut and ripping that down. So as you can see, my skin is a little bit red from where I did wax. And so I would not recommend doing this like right before you go out. I don't think waxing is the best thing to do for your facial hair unless it's like big sections like this. So we'll go ahead and peel this off. And if you have a little bit of wax left over on your skin, just take your strip, the other side, and just press it against that. And there we go. Some plucking still to be done, obviously, but it did get most of the hairs out. The hair is just so fine that you can't really see it come out on the wax strip. But let's move on to underarms, and that's where the fun is. So once you have enough wax in your pot, you can move on to underarms. You do use quite a bit more for your underarms versus your eyebrows. This is, I would say, like 75% of the hair I started with before I started waxing. I do feel like since I've been waxing, some of the hair doesn't grow back. Otherwise, it grows back a little bit thinner. So I'm sure this is very attractive right now. You pick up, I just try to pick up basically like as much wax as I can with my stick, and because it's warm you might have to like keep rotating it around and around, but you just spread it on kind of as much as area as you can cover when it's still warm, and you want to make sure that it's not too thick but also not too thin, and that could just take a little bit of getting used to. So I try to do my entire underarm in 2 waxes because I have the smaller wax stick. If you are using the fatter ones, you might be able to get away with 1 pickup of the wax, but we're just gonna wait for it to cool. You guys, my nose is red from when I dripped on my nose when I did this section right here. How hilarious. Okay, so basically when it's cool enough, when you touch it, you won't really leave a fingerprint in the wax. That's kind of how cool you want it to be. You don't want to wait until it's like so totally cold, because it can get a little bit brittle if you wait too long. So once it is relatively cool, your underarm hair tends to grow in all different directions, so I just kind of pick one side and peel from it. I don't think it really matters. So I'm gonna start peeling from the bottom here, and you just want to do it in like one swift motion. So picking off the rest of the wax here. You can see that it did miss a couple up here, but it got most of this section right here. Look at this wax strip. Like I told you, this would be a lot more rewarding, I guess, than the underarm hair. You can like see all the hairs on here. I personally, when it only misses a couple like this, I'll actually go in with a pair of tweezers and just pluck them out, because my skin does get a little bit sensitive when I wax, but I will go ahead and do this other half right now. So I've gone ahead and plucked this up here while I was waiting for this to dry, and I keep saying dry, but it's cool. It doesn't actually dry. And you just, again, want to rip it in one swift motion, and using the other side of the wax to pick up any wax that is left behind. And a few strands right here, but pretty good the rest of my skin. So I like to go in with a pair of tweezers that I saved like just for this purpose to get the remaining hair, but you're more than welcome to use another like wax, you know, glob to get some of this stuff off. So just finishing up my other side, waiting for this to cool, not dry, cool. And I was able to kind of do the whole thing at once on this side, and I guess I do tend to like ripping up. And you just want to remove the excess wax. And it did miss just a little bit in that middle there. I think depending on how you're holding your arm, if it forms like a little air pocket there, it will miss kind of like that middle spot. Also, just wanted to mention what to do for cleanup. So obviously everything you use, your popsicle sticks, your like wax that you use, throw that all in the trash. As far as your warmer, so you just want to switch it to off and then just wait for it to cool with the top open. Once it's cool, go ahead and pop this lid back on, and then you can keep it in there, like the container, you can keep it in the warmer. That's how I store it, or you can take it out, totally up to you. But yeah, that's really it. It's like really simple. So there, that is it for my tutorial. But that is it for my tutorial. If you guys have any questions, please drop me a comment down below. And yeah, I hope this wasn't too like up close and personal for you.